Welcome back to Frost Education. This is Ed. Today, we're giving a quick overview on METX as an update. In case you never heard of them before, METX or Meten EdtechX is perfectly positioned to capitalize on the country's exponential growth as an English language training provider in China. They have three industry-leading brands, Meten, ABC, and Likeshuo. Now, they do have a recent news. Their earnings here is critical. So first off, they announced their financial results for third quarter and 9 months ending September 30th, 2021. Now, just taking a look into the general aspect, you're seeing a decreases year over year in revenues, 37% decrease from the year over year for the quarter 3. And for 9 months, it's 10.4% decrease. Now, in terms of gross profits, it's almost half what it was year over year. 9 months ending, it's around 7% loss. Now, adjusted net loss, it decreased by 365% compared to year over year. For 9 months ending, it's a decrease of around 32%. So some of the highlights includes third quarter 2021 revenue decreased by 36.9% year over year to RMBs of 187.9 million, or around 29.2 million US dollars. Now that's 9 million for 2021 revenue decreased, around 10.4% year to year revenue of around $93 million, primarily as a result of resurgence of COVID-19 and a reduction in the number of offline learning centers. So in the third quarter 2021, they're also talking about the gross profit decrease of around 49.1%. And a gross margin decrease of around 8.2% year over year to around 34.1%. And basically, again, they don't mention what the reason was, but suspecting it's the same. Gross profit is coming in from revenues anyway. Now, as of September 30th, 2021, they are optimizing the layout of offline centers, and the company closed another 38 offline learning centers by the end of the third quarter of 2021. So they're really moving on towards online. So out of 64, they removed around 38, more than half. So the third quarter of 2021 adjusted net loss increased 364.8%, and adjusted net loss increased by 32%. Those are not good things. These are net losses. You do want to see better results here. The net loss increased, not decreased. Now, they mentioned here, this is the Alan Ping, the CEO. In the third quarter 2021, we have significantly reduced the number of our offline learning centers to effectively reduce the impact of resurgence of COVID-19 pandemic on our offline business operations, improve resources utilization, and prepare for the company's business transformation. As a result, the number of learning centers is reduced to 1 to 2 in each city. With the initiation of its business adjustments, the company's performance has been impacted in the third quarter of 2021. From a long-term perspective, these measures are expected to greatly reduce the company's fixed cost, increase profit margins, and reduce operational risks. Following an effective resource allocation, the company expects that the operating conditions and profitability of its offline centers will be significantly improved once the COVID-19 pandemic situation is under control. So here really it does go ahead and again blame COVID, closes half of its offline operations and says, hey, at least in the future, we're going to have less cost associated with offline as we go more towards online. Now do recall on the 12th, they did raise around $20 million of registered direct offering at around 60 cents per share. And it approximately generated $20 million out of profit. Now, in terms of price over sales, you're seeing here it's 1, but this is a very much of a lagging indicator. To be specific, it's a year lagging. This is based on the last year's numbers. Now, institutional buyers here, you're able to see it's somewhat still bullish. Like Jane Street added around 57,000 shares. Wally Trading added around 320. You're able to see Wally Capital LLC doubled their position to around 567 shares. 567,000 shares, my bad. But their average price per target is around 609. So that's a wide high. It's a massive loss in general. Before the 15th, or early on in the 12th, you're able to see a massive exodus from different companies. So it's a little bit mixed, of course. Like Citigroup liquidated an entire position. So you got to be very careful. Bank of America liquidated. Morgan Stanley liquidated. So it really depends. There's more, I would say, selling than buying, but recently in the last few transactions, there was more buying. Short shares availability showcases that this stock is not heavily influenced by short volume. Around 40% of all volume is towards the short selling or short volume, but the average borrow rate is very low and there is a good amount of shares available for short selling. Before moving on towards technical analysis, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button, leaving notifications on for this channel. There's a bell button right beside the subscribe. Make sure to click the like button, and if you would like, you can join our Discord if you would like to chat with us. Let's move on now towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, what we get to see here is, yes, the moving average is the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, but the price point is officially under all moving averages. That is a bearish point. Now, the EdtechX doesn't show you any significant bullish movements or trends. And of course, doesn't take a genius to see that. Only %R, which is very similar to the relative strength index, shows a value that is highly oversold, suggesting there's more selling action or more selling supply than there is a buying demand. And the MACD here, we're able to see it went on a negative reversal starting off on the 15th of November, and it's ever so expanding that it might take a few days in order for it to start stabilizing and start maybe bouncing back, but it's definitely not in a good shape right now. Momentum here is negative as well. Now, the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are suggesting there might be a very strong test to the support, perhaps down to 34 or even 30 cents. So you gotta be very careful at that level, or at this level actually. The moving average bands expects this one to trade between 59 cents at the top and 48 cents in the bottom. The Bollinger bands are between 70 cents and 37 cents, suggesting that you might either stabilize around here or just bounce a little bit upwards based on the Bollinger bands alone and the moving average bands. Again, this is mainly moved by news rather than just technical analysis, which only shows you where the volume and momentum is going. Now, the current resistance is at 43 cents, then 53, then 61, 69, 80 cents, and 94. The support is at 28 cents. Now, in terms of resistances and supports, the first resistance that we're going to have trouble with is 38 cents, then 40 cents, then going up to 43 cents, 46 cents, up to 48, and then going to 56, upwards to 62, and then a little bit higher to around 69 cents, 68, and then 70 cents, 75, and then up to the dollar. Now, the support levels. There's a critical one here that not a lot of people might be noticing on, is the 36 cents. And then below there, there's 35. Below there, 33. Below there, 30 cents, and if it does drop below there, it's 28, and then maybe even to 25. Now, the biggest thing about what I think about this one is this company is definitely now closing a lot of these shops, the offline ones, almost by half, and what we're seeing is they're betting massively on online. Now, there's a massive decrease in revenue. 360% year over year is massive as a decrease. Now, it's an increase in net loss, so it's bad. So all of that, I do think that the stock will for sure at some point have to put a reverse plate at this rate. They didn't really help it with the offering. The offering was really a punch to a bad news they know they're doing, and they definitely don't have the shareholders' best interest in mind. So if you are holding this one, just be very careful because you could easily lose money, but this would be susceptible to pumps and dumps. So you might actually make 300, 400% or lose it all. There's kind of no in between here. Now, what do you think is going to happen here? Make sure to put down in the comments below. Sure, subscribe and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.